Hi everyone, I'm Emma.
I'm Jack.
Welcome to our channel. Have you ever looked back at your life and wondered where the time went? Maybe you remember being a child and feeling like a single afternoon could last forever. A summer holiday seemed endless. Waiting for a birthday felt incredibly slow, and a year at school seemed like such a long period of time. But now, as adults, many people say that months and even years seem to disappear almost immediately.
Yes, it is a feeling that many people experience. Someone might say, "I can't believe it is already December," or "How is another year almost finished?" Time itself has not actually changed. A day still has 24 hours, and a year still has the same number of days. But our experience of time changes as we grow older.
That is such an interesting idea. The clock is the same for everyone, but our personal experience of time can feel completely different.
Exactly. Time is not only something we measure, it is also something we experience. 2 hours can feel very different depending on what we are doing, how we feel, and what is happening in our lives.
For example, waiting for an important message can make 10 minutes feel extremely long.
Absolutely.
But when we are having a great conversation with someone, 2 hours can feel like 10 minutes.
Exactly. Our emotions, attention, and experiences all influence how we perceive time.
So when people say, "Time is moving faster as I get older," they are not imagining it. Their brain is experiencing time differently.
Right, there are several reasons why this happens. One important factor is how much new information and new experiences we have.
New experiences.
Yes, think about childhood. Almost everything is new. A child is constantly learning new things, visiting new places, meeting new people, and experiencing the world for the first time.
So their brain is collecting a huge amount of new memories.
Exactly. And because there are so many unique experiences, that period of life feels longer when we look back.
That explains something I have always found interesting. Childhood summers often feel much longer in our memories than adult summers.
Yes, a child might spend a summer learning to ride a bicycle, making new friends, exploring new places, and discovering new things. There are many memorable moments.
But an adult summer might look very different.
Right, an adult might follow the same routine every day. Wake up, go to work, come home, prepare dinner, watch something, sleep, and repeat.
So even though the summer has the same number of days, fewer unique memories are created.
Exactly.
And because fewer memorable events are stored, the period feels shorter when we look back.
That is one explanation for why time seems to accelerate.
I think routine plays a huge role in this. Many adults live very repetitive lives without realizing how much it affects their experience of time.
Yes, routine is useful because it makes life easier. We do not have to make thousands of decisions every day. Our habits save energy.
But too much routine can make time feel like it disappears.
Exactly.
Why does that happen?
Because when our days are very similar, our brain does not create as many separate memories. The week becomes one continuous experience instead of many different moments.
So a month filled with different experiences feels longer than a month where every day looks the same.
Exactly.
That makes me think about travel. Many people say a short trip feels much longer than a normal week.
Yes, and that is a great example.
A 5-day trip can sometimes feel like contains weeks of memories.
Because every day includes new places, new food, new conversations, and unexpected situations.
Your brain is paying attention.
Exactly.
You remember details.
Right.
But when you follow the same routine, days can blend together.
Yes, you might think, where did the last 3 months go? Because many days felt almost identical.
This raises an interesting question. Is the solution simply to make life more exciting all the time?
Not necessarily. A meaningful life does not require constant excitement.
That is an important point.
Yes, some people misunderstand this idea and think they need to travel every week or completely change their lifestyle to make time feel valuable.
But that is not realistic.
Exactly. The key is not always doing more, it is being more present.
Being more present.
Yes, paying attention to your experiences, instead of moving through life automatically.
So even ordinary moments can become meaningful if we notice them.
Exactly.
Like having a conversation with a friend,
Yes.
cooking a meal,
Yes.
taking a walk.
Exactly.
The activity itself may be simple, but our attention changes the experience.
That is a very important idea.
I think many people struggle with being present because they are always thinking about the future.
Yes.
They are planning the next goal, the next holiday, the next achievement.
Or they are thinking about problems they need to solve.
So their mind is rarely in the current moment.
Exactly.
And then they look back and feel surprised that time passed so quickly.
Yes, because they were physically present but mentally somewhere else.
That is a powerful difference.
It is.
Another thing I find fascinating is that time feels different depending on our stage of life.
Absolutely.
When we are young, 1 year feels like a huge part of our life.
Yes.
For example, when you are 5 years old, 1 year represents 20% of your entire life. But when you are 50 years old, 1 year represents only 2% of your life.
Exactly. Some psychologists suggest that this difference in proportion affects our perception of time.
So as we get older, each year feels smaller compared with our total experience.
Right.
That is a simple idea, but it explains a lot.
Yes.
I also think memories influence our experience of time. Sometimes a period feels longer because it was emotionally important.
Definitely.
For example, people often remember major life changes very clearly.
Yes, moving to a new place, starting a new job, meeting someone important, or experiencing a major challenge.
Those moments create strong memories.
Exactly.
But ordinary periods can become blurry.
Yes.
That is why people sometimes say, "I don't remember what happened that year."
Exactly.
Not because nothing happened, but because fewer moments stood out. So if someone feels like life is moving too quickly, what can they do?
I think one thing is intentionally creating meaningful experiences.
Meaning, we should look for moments that matter,
Exactly.
not necessarily expensive experiences,
Right.
not necessarily dramatic experiences,
Exactly.
just moments that create connection, learning, or personal growth.
Yes.
Trying something new,
Meeting someone new.
learning a new skill,
Exploring a different place.
even changing a small part of your routine.
Exactly.
I think many people underestimate small changes.
Yes.
They think only big events create meaningful memories.
But small experiences can become important too.
For example, learning to cook a new dish,
Having a deep conversation with someone.
reading a book that changes your perspective.
Taking a different route home and noticing something new.
These moments can make life feel richer.
Exactly.
I want to explore the idea of routine a little more because I think it is something almost everyone can relate to. Routine is not necessarily the enemy. In fact, routines can give us stability, comfort, and efficiency. The question is whether our routine supports our life, or whether it makes us feel like we are simply repeating the same day again and again.
That is a very important distinction. Many people have routines because routines help them manage responsibilities. Going to work, taking care of family, exercising, and organizing daily tasks all require some level of structure.
Exactly. Without routines, life could become chaotic.
Yes, the problem begins when we stop experiencing our own lives and start operating on automatic mode.
Automatic mode.
Yes, it is when we do things without really noticing them. We wake up, complete tasks, move from one responsibility to another, and suddenly realize another week has passed.
That feeling is very common. Someone might say, "I was so busy this month, but I don't even remember what I did."
Exactly. The month was full of activity, but it did not contain many memorable moments.
So being busy does not always mean feeling that time is meaningful.
Right? A person can have a very busy life and still feel like time is disappearing.
That is an interesting difference. We often think that if we fill our schedule, we are making the most of life.
But sometimes the opposite can happen. A completely full schedule can leave no space for reflection, curiosity, or appreciation.
So maybe the goal is not to add more things to our lives, but to experience the things we already have more deeply.
Exactly.
This makes me think about childhood again. Children seem to have a special ability to become completely absorbed in the present moment.
Yes, that is something many adults lose.
A child can spend an hour watching insects, drawing a picture, building something, or playing a game.
And during that time, they are completely focused.
They are not thinking about tomorrow's meeting or next month's goals.
Exactly.
They are simply experiencing what is happening.
That state of complete attention can make time feel different.
Adults sometimes experience this too when they are doing something they truly enjoy.
Yes, musicians, artists, athletes, writers, and many other people describe moments when they become completely focused on what they are doing.
Sometimes people call it being in the zone.
Exactly.
During those moments, they may lose awareness of time.
Yes, an hour can feel like a few minutes.
But when they look back, the experience feels meaningful.
Exactly.
So maybe there is a connection between attention and time.
Absolutely.
The more attention we give to an experience, the more detailed our memory becomes.
Yes.
And the more detailed the memory, the richer that period of life feels when we remember it.
Exactly.
That means we can influence our experience of time through the way we pay attention.
I believe so.
That is actually a very hopeful idea.
Yes, even though we cannot control time itself, we can influence how we experience it.
Another interesting topic is why negative experiences sometimes feel longer while they are happening.
That is a fascinating part of time perception.
For example, waiting for bad news can feel extremely slow.
Yes.
A difficult conversation can feel like it lasts forever.
Exactly.
But later, we may look back and think, that period passed quickly.
Right.
So the experience of time changes depending on whether we are living through something or remembering it.
Exactly.
When we are in a difficult situation, our attention becomes highly focused on every moment.
Yes, we notice details because the situation feels important.
But when we look back years later, the memory becomes a single chapter of our life.
Exactly.
This makes me wonder about happiness and time. Do happy people experience time differently?
That is an interesting question. I think happiness does not simply make time faster or slower. It changes our relationship with time.
How so?
When people are happy and engaged, they often become more present. They are not constantly fighting against the moment.
So they may enjoy time more.
Exactly.
But when people are unhappy, they may constantly wish for the future.
Yes, they might think, when this problem ends, I will finally be happy.
So they are always waiting for another moment.
Exactly.
And while they are waiting, the present passes.
Right.
I think this connects to something many adults experience, always waiting for life to begin.
Yes, that is very common.
People think, when I finish school, life will begin.
Then they think, when I get a better job, life will begin.
When I earn more money, life will begin.
When I have more free time, life will begin.
But sometimes, they keep moving the starting point further away.
Exactly.
And years pass while they are waiting.
That is why learning to appreciate the current moment is so important.
Not because we should stop having goals,
Right.
but because life is not only the achievement at the end.
Exactly. The journey itself is the majority of our experience.
Another thing that affects our feeling of time is technology.
Definitely.
Technology has made many things faster.
Communication, transportation, information, entertainment.
Everything is available almost immediately.
Yes,
Do you think that affects how we experience time?
I think it does. When everything happens quickly, we can develop the expectation that life should always move quickly.
We become uncomfortable with waiting.
Exactly.
Waiting for a reply feels difficult.
Waiting for a slow process feels frustrating.
Waiting for long-term results feels challenging.
Yes,
But many meaningful things cannot be rushed.
exactly.
Learning a language is a perfect example.
Absolutely.
You cannot become fluent overnight.
Right.
You need thousands of small moments of practice.
Exactly.
But because we live in a world of instant results, we sometimes feel frustrated with slow progress.
Yes,
Then we compare ourselves with people who are already advanced.
exactly.
And we forget that every skilled person started with small steps.
Right.
I think another reason time feels faster as we get older is because we have fewer first experiences.
Yes, that is a very interesting idea.
When we are young, many things happen for the first time.
First day of school,
First friendship,
first trip,
first job,
first major achievement.
first difficult lesson.
Exactly.
First experiences often create strong memories.
Yes, they stand out because they are new.
But adulthood can sometimes contain fewer completely new experiences.
Right.
So creating new experiences becomes important.
Exactly.
It does not mean adults need to constantly search for extreme adventures.
Not at all.
A new experience can be very simple.
Exactly.
Learning something unfamiliar.
Trying a different activity.
Talking with someone outside your usual social circle.
Exploring a new area of your city.
Changing your perspective.
Yes,
Maybe the real secret is staying curious.
I agree.
Curiosity keeps life fresh.
Exactly.
A curious person continues discovering things.
And discovery creates memories.
And memories shape our experience of time.
Exactly.
I want to talk more about curiosity because I believe it has a strong connection with how meaningful our lives feel. When people lose curiosity, life can start to feel like a predictable pattern. But when we stay curious, even ordinary situations can become interesting.
That is true. Curiosity changes the way we look at the world. Two people can experience the same day, but their experience can be completely different depending on their attitude.
For example, someone might walk through the same street every day and never really notice anything.
Yes,
Another person might walk through that same street and notice a new restaurant, a beautiful building, a different sound, or an interesting person.
exactly. The environment is the same, but the level of attention is different.
So maybe part of feeling that time moves quickly is that we stop noticing the details around us.
Yes, when we stop paying attention, experiences become less memorable.
And when experiences become less memorable, time seems to disappear.
Exactly.
I think this explains why some years feel much longer than others. Have you ever noticed that some periods of your life feel very rich, while others feel like they disappeared?
Absolutely.
Sometimes 1 year can feel like 5 years because so much happened.
Yes, maybe you moved to a new place, started a new job, met many new people, or learned a completely new skill.
Your brain records many different chapters.
Exactly.
But another year can pass very quickly because every day feels similar.
Right.
Nothing dramatic happened, but maybe that is exactly why it feels shorter.
Yes,
This makes me think about the difference between a full life and a busy life.
that is a very important distinction.
Many people believe a full life means having a full calendar.
Yes,
But a busy calendar does not always create meaningful memories.
exactly.
A person can have hundreds of activities, but still feel empty.
Right.
Another person can have a simple life, but feel deeply satisfied because they are connected to what they are doing.
Exactly.
So fullness is not only about quantity,
It is about quality.
quality of experiences,
Quality of relationships.
quality of attention.
Exactly.
Relationships are another area where time feels different. Some conversations with certain people feel unforgettable.
Yes,
You might spend 3 hours talking with someone and feel like only 30 minutes passed.
exactly.
But you may spend 30 minutes doing something you dislike and feel like it lasted forever.
Right.
So the emotional quality of an experience affects our perception of time.
Absolutely.
This is why meaningful relationships can make life feel richer.
Yes,
Not because they add more hours to our lives.
but because they add more meaning to those hours.
I think many adults also feel that time moves faster because their responsibilities increase.
Yes,
When people are younger, they often have more open time.
they have fewer responsibilities.
But adulthood brings work, financial decisions, family responsibilities, and many things to manage.
Exactly.
Sometimes people are not only experiencing time passing, they are experiencing the pressure of having too many things to do.
That is an important difference.
They think time is moving too fast, but maybe they also mean, I have too many demands.
Exactly.
So managing time is not only about being productive.
Right.
It is also about protecting moments that matter.
Yes.
I think many people struggle with the idea of slowing down because they believe slowing down means falling behind,
That is very common.
especially in competitive societies.
Yes, people often feel they must always improve, achieve, and move forward.
Rest can feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Doing nothing can feel like wasting time.
But rest is not always wasted time.
Sometimes rest helps us reconnect with ourselves.
Exactly.
Sometimes slowing down helps us notice things we were missing.
Yes.
There is also an interesting relationship between age and memory. Sometimes people say, "My childhood felt longer because I remember so much of it."
Yes.
But maybe it is not only because childhood was longer. Maybe it is because childhood memories are often more emotionally powerful.
Exactly.
Strong emotions create stronger memories.
Yes.
That is why people can remember small details from many years ago.
Like a teacher's voice, a childhood room, a favorite place, or a special day.
Exactly,
But many ordinary adult days are harder to remember.
because they do not create the same emotional impact.
Right.
So could creating more meaningful moments actually make life feel longer?
In a way, yes.
Not literally,
Right, the amount of time does not change.
but our experience of that time changes.
Exactly.
A year filled with meaningful experiences can feel much richer than a year that simply passed.
Yes.
Maybe the goal is not to make time slower.
Maybe it is to make our experience of time deeper.
I like that. Let's talk about something many people worry about: getting older.
Yes.
Many people fear aging because they feel like time is running out.
That feeling is very common.
They think about things they have not done yet,
Goals they have not achieved.
places they have not visited,
Dreams they have not followed.
and sometimes this creates regret.
Yes.
But maybe aging also brings something valuable:
Definitely.
experience,
Wisdom.
a better understanding of what matters.
Exactly.
Growing older is not only losing time.
It is also gaining perspective.
I think one of the biggest lessons about time is learning that we cannot control how much time we have, but we can influence how we use it.
Absolutely.
Many people spend a lot of energy worrying about time.
But worry itself takes away from the present moment.
That is such an interesting contradiction.
Yes, we worry about losing time while spending time worrying.
That is a powerful thought.
Exactly.
So perhaps the question is not, how can I make time move slower?
Maybe the question is, how can I make my time more meaningful?
That changes everything,
Yes,
because a meaningful life is not measured only by length,
it is measured by depth,
by the experiences we create,
the people we love,
the things we learn.
the moments we remember.
I think many people wait for special occasions to appreciate life.
Yes,
They think happiness will come during a big event,
a vacation,
a celebration.
a major achievement.
But most of life is made of ordinary moments.
Exactly.
If we only appreciate special moments, we miss most of our lives.
That is true.
Maybe the skill is learning to find meaning in ordinary days.
Exactly.
I want to continue with the idea of ordinary moments because I think this is where many people miss the beauty of life. We often imagine that the most valuable memories must come from big events, but when people look back on their lives, they often remember simple moments.
That is very true. People often remember small conversations, everyday routines, and little experiences that seemed unimportant at the time.
For example, someone may remember cooking with a family member, walking home with a friend, or having a conversation late at night.
Exactly. These moments may not seem special while they are happening, but later they become meaningful memories.
Why do you think that happens?
Because meaning is not always created by the size of an event. It is often created by the emotion connected to the event.
So a simple moment with someone we care about can become more valuable than an expensive experience.
Exactly.
That is something people sometimes realize too late.
Yes, many people spend years chasing bigger achievements while ignoring the small moments that are already happening.
I think another reason time feels faster as we get older is that we become more focused on efficiency.
Yes,
When we are young, we often do things simply because we enjoy them.
Right.
But as adults, we often ask, is this useful? Will this help me achieve something? Is this the best use of my time?
Exactly.
Of course, responsibility is important.
Absolutely.
But if every moment has to be productive, life can start feeling like a constant task list.
Yes.
And then we lose the ability to simply experience things.
Exactly.
Do you think people today are more aware of time because of technology?
I think so. Technology constantly reminds us about time.
How?
We have calendars, reminders, deadlines, notifications, schedules, and productivity apps. We are always measuring and organizing time.
So we are constantly thinking about time.
Yes,
But thinking about time is not the same as appreciating time.
exactly.
Sometimes we become so focused on managing time that we forget to experience it.
That is a very interesting point.
Another thing I find fascinating is how our perception of time changes during difficult periods.
Yes,
When someone is going through a difficult situation, a few weeks can feel extremely long.
absolutely.
But after the situation ends, they may look back and think, that period passed quickly.
Exactly.
So time feels different when we are inside an experience compared with when we are looking back at it.
Yes,
Maybe because our attention changes.
exactly.
When we are struggling, we notice every moment.
But when we look back, we see the whole story.
That is a fascinating difference. I think this also connects to personal growth. Sometimes people look back at difficult periods and realize those years were important.
Yes,
At the time, they only saw the struggle.
but later they see the lessons.
They see how those experiences changed them.
Exactly.
So even periods that feel slow and difficult can become valuable parts of our story.
Yes,
There is another question I want to ask. Why do some people seem younger mentally even as they get older?
that is interesting.
Some older people remain curious, excited, and open to new experiences,
Yes,
while some younger people already feel tired and disconnected.
exactly.
So maybe age is not only about years.
Right.
It is also about attitude.
Yes.
A curious person continues to discover new things,
And discovery keeps life feeling fresh.
while someone who stops exploring may feel like time is disappearing.
Exactly.
I think curiosity is one of the secrets to keeping life meaningful,
I agree.
because curiosity encourages us to ask questions,
To learn,
to explore,
to connect with people.
to experience new perspectives,
Exactly.
and all of those things create memories.
Yes,
Let's talk about another modern problem. Many people feel they do not have enough time, even when they have more convenience than previous generations.
that is a fascinating contradiction.
Technology has saved us time in many ways.
Yes,
Communication is faster. Information is easier to access. Many tasks are more convenient.
exactly.
But people still feel busy.
Because expectations have increased.
Meaning,
Because when something becomes easier, we often do more of it. The time we save gets filled with new tasks.
so instead of feeling more free, we simply increase our workload.
Exactly.
That explains a lot. Maybe one of the biggest challenges of modern life is learning what deserves our time.
Absolutely.
Because time is limited,
Yes,
we cannot do everything.
exactly.
We have to choose.
And choosing means saying no to some things.
Many people struggle with that.
Yes, because they are afraid of missing opportunities.
But saying yes to everything can mean having no space for what truly matters.
Exactly.
I think this is where personal values become important.
Yes,
If we know what matters most to us, decisions become easier.
exactly.
We stop chasing every possible experience.
And we focus on meaningful experiences.
So perhaps managing time is not only a practical skill.
It is also a reflection of our values.
That is a powerful idea. Before we finish, I want to ask one final question. If you could give advice to someone who feels like life is moving too fast, what would you say?
I would say, do not focus only on slowing time down. Focus on making your moments count.
Making your moments count.
Yes, pay attention to the people around you. Try new things. Appreciate ordinary days. Do not spend every moment waiting for the future.
Because the future eventually becomes the present.
Exactly.
And if we are always waiting, we may miss the life that is already happening.
Right.
I think that is a beautiful place to end this conversation. Time will continue moving. We cannot stop it, and we cannot go backward.
But we can choose how we experience it.
We can create memories.
We can stay curious.
We can build meaningful relationships.
And we can appreciate the moments we have.
Because a meaningful life is not about having endless time.
It is about making the time we have meaningful.
Thank you for listening to today's conversation.
We hope this episode helped you think differently about time, memories, and the way you experience your own life.
See you in the next episode.
See you.